If you are on your intuition, manifestation, spirituality journey, it's imperative that you understand how to discern between intuitive messages versus fear-based thoughts. I talk a lot about intuition on this channel, but I'm going to give you one prompt that you can ask yourself in almost any situation to help you discern between intuition and fear. If you don't learn how to do this, then you could unconsciously be living from fear, thus taking action from a fear-based place. Even if you think you're confident and know where you're going on the outside, deep down there might be a lack in trust in your intuition to actually hear it enough clearly and actually trust it and take action accordingly. So with intuition and fear-based thoughts, what you'll want to ask yourself is this thought, let's say for an example, coming from love or fear. Why do we ask that question? Because intuition is always guiding you in the direction of love for your soul. Fear or the ego is going to try to keep you small. So an example of a fear-based thought, one time I was on the market for a used car. I wanted to buy directly from the owner, so I had been browsing Facebook Marketplace for like over a month. Longer story short, the owner itself seemed like a really genuine guy, and it was a make that I trusted, still an older car, but I didn't want anything too, too glamorous or anything, and it was a model that I trusted, so it checked those boxes. And when it came down to buying the car, I had this underlying just like feeling. That's a lot of the ways, the majority of the time I receive my intuitive messages just through like a feeling of like, this doesn't feel right for me, or this does feel right for me. And I had this underlying feeling that I should at least wait. Like maybe I wait till the next day to get the car checked at a shop just to make sure we're good to go. And longer story short, I ended up committing to the car on the spot, sent him the money. And the reason being because I was afraid of losing it. This guy was going to be leaving back to his home country he said in like 2 to 3 days. And so he would be trying to get rid of it no matter what. I was afraid of losing it. And I made that decision based on fear. Nothing in particular ended up being really wrong with the car. But what ended up happening is I ended up buying a car with a skipped title, if you don't know what that is, which I did not at the time, and ultimately ended up having to go through a legal process to get the car registered under my name. And I don't think it was intentional by the individual. He was a foreigner, and I'm not sure if he knew the legal repercussions that I would face. But all in all, that was a decision based on fear. If you're making a decision like, or a thought is coming up, well, like, what if I lose it? What if there won't be any more friends for me to make? And like, maybe I should maintain connection with them. Or what if this doesn't work out? What if this job doesn't work out and it just ends up being another toxic team or something like that? The what if questions, these questions trying to protect you. There are multiple ways to receive intuitive messages, but if it is kind of like a thought, you start having thoughts like that, that is coming from fear. If it's like the more urgent, nagging kind of vibe, it can also show up in your body. And the ways that it can show up in your body is like a tightening in your chest. It could show up as a drop in your stomach or like a pit in your stomach, and that could mean different things for different people. You essentially have to learn how intuition shows up for you. And if you're curious to understand the 4 intuitive languages, I'll link that video in the description below, since I have a whole video dedicated to the 4 ways that intuition can speak through you. Typically, fear will show up as more of a nagging vibe or thoughts. So like, it'll just like be this insistent, I always like feel it as if it's like on the left side of my head. So, which also makes sense. That's the logical side of your brain, whereas right brain is more like creativity and whatnot. And I tend to feel slash hear my intuitive messages coming from the right side, interestingly enough. Intuition, on the other hand, is more of a cool, calm, and collected vibe. So the message very likely will be certain, to the point. It won't be nagging. It'll just be like a nudge, whether it's an auditory nudge, you feel the nudge, or again, you can listen to the four main types in the other video. It will generally be more calm and confident and focus on the present. So fear will be like, well, what if this happens? Or it's thinking about something from the past. Well, this happened to me before, so there's no way it could work out. Intuition is solely focused on the present. Some people might be able to get intuitive hits about something in the future, but most of the time it's you're being faced with a person in the present and you get an intuitive hit about them, or a situation that you get an intuitive hit about, and it's something that you're meant to be guided on just solely in the present. But the main message I want you to get from this video is, ask yourself, is this thought, this feeling, is it coming from love or is it coming from fear? And in the next video, I'll show you what actually unfolds in your life when you start trusting yourself and your intuition on this deeper soul level. And this will impact your relationships, your work, and really it has a ripple effect in all areas of your life. So highly recommend checking that out. Thank you for being here.